Good evening and welcome to Inside VSU Volleyball. I'm Jamie Core, and I'll be your host as we take a look at all the excitement surrounding the Valdosta State University Lady Blazer volleyball team. When we return, we'll be joined by head coach Paul Cantrell to help us recap all the exciting on-the-court action. So stay tuned and get ready to go inside VSU Volleyball.
Do you think you have the power to change the world?
I can shape the future, one child at a time.
I know I can make a difference in those children's lives, and I know I have.
Who knows where my influence may stop?
I teach.
I teach.
I teach.
Yes, they're teachers, but to the kids they reach, they're heroes.
I think I have the power to change the world. The influence is always there.
Do you have the power to wake up young minds, to be someone's hero, to change someone's life? Reach for that power. Teach. If you want to make an impact on our future, call 1-800-45-TEACH. Want to change the world?
I teach. I teach.
I teach.
I teach. I teach.
Be a teacher. Be a hero.
What would you do if you had to choose between the buffalo and the giraffes? Between a flower or an elephant? What would you choose? What if you had to decide between a 100-year-old tree and a 1,000,000-year-old beach? Between drinking clean water or breathing clean air? Would you make the right choice? Would there be a right choice? Now there's a way to help. Not just one, but all these things. EarthShare, the world's leading environmental groups working together. It's one choice we can all live with. Ask your employer about workplace giving.
Joining me now is my co-host and coach of the Lady Blazers, Paul Cantrell. Paul, after reviving the program just 2 years ago, what goals have you set for this 1997 team?
Well, we want to continue to build on the success that we had in 1995 in our first year, which we were 13 and 17. And then last year when we were 15 and 16, we qualified for the conference tournament for the first time. So certainly we're looking for our first winning record and another trip back to the conference tournament.
Well, on our last show, we brought you all the highlights from the week up to September 14th. Now let's get caught up in all the action since then. Paul, you start off week number 3 facing the Golden Rams of Albany State University. Recap for us what you saw during this match.
Well, in this match, we really weren't sure what to expect. We know that Albany State's a very athletic team. They have one of their key players as number 4 by the last name of Fletcher. That was not her attacking that ball. She is a left-handed player and packs quite a wallop on her swing. I believe that and we have here Becky Johnson serving. This is late in game 2. They're going to set Fletcher, and we dig her deep cross court, and in a good situation, Julie Kalatzik keeps the ball in play. They set back outside to her. We pretty much knew it was coming and had a double block there, and I believe that was for game point. And that puts us up 2-0 in our own gym against Albany State, and that's not a deficit they're going to come back from.
Albany State nothing.
You know, Albany State is a program that's improved over the last couple of seasons since we originated volleyball, and they're going to continue to improve. And they've got a good group of athletes, and it's just going to be an interesting situation for us. There's Kim Caffarelli, freshman from Peachtree City, Georgia, with a nice serve. They hit out of bounds. Again, we're up 13-2, really looking to take over this match. Here she makes a serving error, but that's just the good that you take with the bad. Here we don't get a real good set out to Danielle Lehman. She keeps it in play, which is exactly what she should have done. We get, at this point, a better set out to her, and she's able to put the ball away. And again, at this point, it's just basically delaying the inevitable. We're up 14-2 or 3, and we're just looking to close the match out.
Caffarelli there provided a great dig from the back row.
Yeah, it's a nice surprise is her defensive ability. Standing at 6'3", she does a great job of being able to play defense. And there's another freshman getting her, what I believe is her first career kill with a straight down swing, Sethley Brannon from Marietta, Georgia. So we got a chance to play a lot of people and win a fairly easy victory.
Well, on the 18th, you took your team up to Fort Valley State to take on the Lady Wildcats. At this point, you were 4-5. How anxious were you and your team to get back to 500?
Well, we were very anxious to get back to 500, but I think one of the keys to going to Fort Valley is just to be ready for anything. When we visited there in 1995, I was actually ejected from the game. So it's not a very easy place to play. Again, another group of good athletes, maybe not that good a group of volleyball players, but just athletic enough to beat you. So I was more concerned to get a victory. It didn't matter if it was number 20 or number 1.
Well, as of this point, you're 5-5 going into the big weekend rematch with North Florida. Tell us, how are you expecting to play the Lady Ospreys in the complex after a convincing defeat down in Jacksonville?
Well, what we were expecting was we were not going to be intimidated by them. You know, this is our own gym, and we're going to try to do a little bit better job of matching up with them than we did down there, and I think that's exactly what we were able to accomplish that Saturday night.
Well, let's take a look at the footage.
Looks like we're picking it up late in Game 2. And we had every opportunity to win Game 2, and we just could not put the ball away. And I think that was part of being a young team. We backed off the throttle a couple times, and there's one where Julie Kolotzik just keeps the ball in play. You know, here we've got a great dig, and Jody Johnson makes a setting mistake and goes into the net. And those little tiny errors just kept piling up and piling up, and North Florida is way too good of a team to give this many opportunities to, and that's exactly what we did. North Florida, which started off the season preseason nationally ranked, you know, they're a good team. Here's a chance to put away a free ball, and our freshman middle, Kim Caffarelli, runs the wrong play. And that's okay, you know, she's going to make those kind of mistakes as a freshman. She was probably thinking about it a little too much here. She goes up for a jump serve, serves it just long. But as you'll see a few seconds into this, she really helps us out of a jam. Matter of fact, I believe they're serving for game point at this situation. And Jenny Metcalf gives in and gives up a service ace, and that ends Game 2. But as I was saying, Kim Caffarelli, even though she's a freshman and made that mistake, came back a few minutes later in that game and held off one game point with a back row attack. And those are, again, you just have to take the good with the bad. Barbie Martinez, who had went out earlier with a knee injury, we were able to bring her back for a limited duty in Game 3. But then we turn around and have another knee injury. And this one looked to be a lot more serious as Jenny Metcalf went down in an extreme amount of pain. I believe everybody in the complex, and as well as myself and the team, thought this was going to be very serious. The good news was that it wasn't as serious as we had anticipated. It ended up being a contusion, and she was able to come back for us in our next match. Here the Ospreys are up 14-11, looking to close out the match. And we've got a makeshift lineup in there, and we are doing everything we can think of to keep this game alive. Julie Kolotzik really starts coming up big. And, you know, here is a freshman taking some big swings for us to get us back into this match. And there she gets a stuff block against the All-American Becky DeJong from North Florida. So again, Kim Caffarelli has a chance to put down a ball and doesn't do it. We ended up, Julie puts it down for a kill. So it was a great match, probably one of the best matches I've ever been involved with. And this is the final play. We dig a ball, it goes up for a joust to the net, and that's just a situation with a junior overpowering a freshman. And while that may happen this year, I don't think it's going to happen very, very often in our future.
Well, stick around, because when Paul and I come back, we'll bring you all the action from week number 4.
Why would anybody give someone they don't know a gift?
They do it because this gift saves lives. And the need for it is desperate. We need over 20,000 people to give this precious gift every day. Please give blood. There's a life to be saved right now. Call the American Red Cross at 1-800-GIVE-LIFE.
Adam has a disease that's making him tired, stunting his growth, and breaking down his immune system. A disease affecting over 12 million children. A disease that's totally curable. It's called hunger. Second Harvest is America's food bank network. Just call your local food bank to help.
Michael Jordan, UNCF, take one.
We're here to tell you about the College Fund. It was set up to help deserving kids get a chance to be what they want to be. Are there any future doctors in the house?
Yeah!
Any scientists?
Yeah!
What about teachers?
Yeah!
All right, now who's going to play professional basketball? Come on. It's a good job. Please join me and support the College Fund. Your mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Yeah!
Welcome back. Well, on Tuesday the 23rd, you took your team on the road up to Albany State University for a rematch. Tell us, how did you think your team would respond after such a tough loss to North Florida?
Well, I really don't think our team looked at it as such an incredibly tough loss. You know, we played awfully good volleyball against an awfully good team. We felt that we accomplished a whole lot of things that were on our agenda to accomplish. So I didn't feel like there was going to be any kind of a letdown or any problem. And so we rolled into Albany State and took care of business. I started putting in a lot of our substitutes in Game 3, and we were up 13-3, and we ended up losing that game 15-13. Their crowd became electric. They had about 300 in a very small gym, so it got to be a little bit noisy, and the girls responded pretty well. I mean, we came out and we beat them 15-0 in the fourth, so I don't think we can complain too much about that performance. Jennifer Nelms played another great match, and you know, I think Jenny Metcalf played a great match in the fact that she had to really step in for an injured Barbie Martinez and play a position that's a little bit out of position for her.
Well, next up for you was last Saturday against Wesleyan College here in the complex. Let's go through that match on the tape.
Well, right off the bat, you're going to notice I'm wearing a purple shirt, and you know, it was not my intention to be wearing the other team's colors. They walked in purple, and I'm thinking, oh, this is not a good thing. So we just wanted to go through this match. We didn't really know anything about Wesleyan. What we found out very quickly is that they ran a very interesting serve receive, and one that we feel like cost them more than they gained out of it. I think this is a run by Kristen Pennington, our senior setter, where she records 4 consecutive service aces. And while that sounds really great, that's not her highest total. She actually recorded 9 in a row against North Alabama here in the complex in 1995. So I think Kristen is really starting to find her own again as a server and is getting a little bit more confident. You know, at 12-3, what do you say to a team? You just try to figure out some way of keeping them focused to try to finish this match out.
Now, you're without junior Barbie Martinez during this match.
That's correct. We decided that we wanted to give Barbie as much of a rest as we possibly could. Her knee injury is not severe, but one that we want to give her rest and try to hold her out for what we feel will be a very tough road match against Georgia Southwestern this next week. We felt like that we could get through Wesleyan without her, and certainly it was not a difficult match for us in any shape, form, or fashion. As you can see, Julie Kolodzik's bandaged up there a little bit. She's suffering from a strain in her upper quads muscle and is having a little bit of pain, but the wrap gives her a little bit of compression and it's making her feel a lot better. Here's a good swing by Jenny Metcalf. She hammers it right into the block, and you know, if their block was a little stronger, that ball probably comes down on our side. It's not, so it's a kill for us, and we take game 1 very convincingly. There's Coach Mike Kelly and his daughter having a good time at the ball game. Glad to see that he got a chance to come out and get away from football for a while. Again, here we go with another bad pass, and we get a free ball opportunity, and we give it outside in a very ugly set. The referee should have called it, but they didn't call a whole lot this match, and probably rightfully so. Kristen Pennington serving out of bounds, kind of frustrating when you're up this big that you just can't go ahead and finish the match out. Here's a nice swing by Julie Kolotzik. We ran that play especially for her. We felt like that they would, by this point, that they were so used to seeing our middles hammer the ball down their throat that they would jump with them, and indeed they did.
Emily Robertson really performed well during this whole match.
Yeah, she really has done a nice job. You know, she's had to step in with having to move Jenny to the outside hitting position. She's done a good job. You know, the main thing we need her to do is put up a big block and play some defense, and she did a good job of that. Here's Danielle Lehman, a redshirt sophomore from Marietta, Georgia, who goes on a serving tear. And Danielle is not one of our top servers on our team, and yet here she racks up 5 service aces in one single game. You know, that would put her well at the top of the conference if she played in a few more games.
We're seeing action here from late in Game 3.
Right. Again, you know, now we're in a situation we've got basically everyone off our bench. The only player we didn't put in was Jody Johnson, and that was a decision made by myself and her at game time. And at this point, it's basically sticking your finger in the hole of a dam. There's just no way you're going to be able to hold it all back. And 14-4, we just want to put it away and get a free ball. Go outside, Julie Kolotzik, and it's down, and that's the end of the story.
Well, get your pads and pencils ready, because when we come back, we're going to take you on the court with Coach Cantrell.
We want to see our children succeed. But setting easy goals for our kids creates the toughest obstacle they'll ever face. Because succeeding in the real world isn't easy. Help the effort to raise standards in America's public schools. Call 1-800-96-PROMISE.
Do you think you have the power to change the world?
I can shape the future, one child at a time.
I know I can make a difference in those children's lives, and I know I have.
Who knows where my influence may stop?
I teach.
I teach.
I teach.
Yes, they're teachers, but to the kids they reach, they're heroes.
I think I have the power to change the world. The influence is always there.
Do you have the power to wake up young minds, to be someone's hero, to change someone's life? Reach for that power. Teach. If you want to make an impact on our future, call 1-800-45-TEACH. Want to change the world?
I teach. I teach.
I teach.
I teach. I teach.
Be a teacher. Be a hero.
Give me a heading, Bill.
On January 8th, Amy Narvajo was saved from freezing to death by the National Guard. Were it not for their employers giving them the time to answer the call, this story might have had a different ending. To every employer who supports the Guard and Reserve, thanks for making us your business.
Welcome back to Inside VSU Volleyball. In today's On the Court segment, we're going to be discussing the topic of serving. Joining us today is Jenny Metcalf, a 5'8" opposite hitter from Peachtree City, Georgia. Jenny is currently ranked in the top 5 in the Gulf South Conference in service aces per game, and there's nobody better on the VSU Lady Blazers to teach you the skill of serving. One of the first things that we want to do when we're serving is we want to be facing the direction in which we are serving. We want to become a very arrogant server in the fact that we're going this direction, and we don't care if the other team knows it. They still have to be able to pass the ball. Right now, Jenny is going to be serving down the right-hand sideline. The second thing I want you to look at with Jenny is where she has her weight. Currently, her weight is back on her right foot. Her left foot is pointed the direction in which she's serving. With her weight on her right foot, she's going to take a small step with her left foot. Her weight will transfer forward as she tosses and serves the ball, thereby creating the power on her serve. The next thing, and this is a very crucial part, is I want you to look at the way she's holding the ball. She's supporting the ball in her left hand. Her right hand is above her elbow. Her elbow is above her shoulder. This is what's going to make sure that she has a good quality contact with her hand as she contacts the ball. The next phase of serving is the actual toss. The toss is done with the left hand. Now Jenny is wanting to toss this ball with no spin, so she's not going to flex her wrist as she throws it up. It's just going to be a nice flat toss. And she's going to attempt to toss this ball somewhere in front of her right shoulder and her right foot. Her right hand is her hitting shoulder. She wants to keep the ball somewhere in that area. That way she's able to effectively serve straight through the ball. Go ahead. Jenny wants to be contacting this ball with the meat part of her hand. So it's not the fingers, it's not the palm, it's the bottom part of her hand, this section. And she wants to hit the ball right in the center of the ball, not off to the side, not on top, not at the bottom, right through the center of the ball. As she tosses the ball is going to come to a momentary rest just before it begins to come down. It's at that point when she's going to contact. As she's contacting the ball, she's going to accelerate into the ball. Her hand is not going slow, it's going from slow to fast as she contacts the ball. So let's see Jenny do this. Good. The final segment of the serving skill that we want to discuss is the follow-through. After Jenny contacts the ball and serves it, she's actually going to follow through and momentarily freeze her hand the direction in which she is serving. Go ahead. Now let's see Jenny put it all together. Folks, there's nothing more important than repetition, so get out there and play. We'll be right back with more Inside VSU Volleyball.
The crayon box that talked. While walking in a toy store the day before today, I overheard a crayon box with many things to say.
I don't like red, said Yellow, and Green said, nor do I. And no one here likes orange, but no one knows just why.
We are a box of crayons that doesn't get along,
said Blue to all the others.
Something here is wrong. Well, I bought that box of crayons and took it home with me and laid out all the colors so the crayons could all see. They watched me as I colored, with red and blue and green and black and white and orange and every color in between. They watched as green became the grass and blue became the sky. The yellow sun was shining bright on white clouds drifting by. Colors changing as they touched, becoming something new. They watched me as I colored. They watched till I was through. And when I'd finally finished, I began to walk away. And as I did, the crayon box had something more to say.
I do like red, said Yellow, and Green said, so do I.
And Blue, you were terrific so high up in the sky.
We are a box of crayons, each one of us unique.
But when we get together,
the picture is complete.
Each week we'll be introducing you to two of the faces from the VSU volleyball team. This week we're joined with Kristen Pennington and Jody Johnson. Kristen Pennington in 43 games has 132 assists, 11 service aces, and 60 digs. She has also recorded 3 kills and 2 block assists. Jody Johnson, in 39 games, leads VSU with 269 assists. She has 11 service aces, 63 digs, and 5 kills. Johnson has also recorded 3 block solos and 3 block assists. Well, joining us now in the studio are Kristen and Jody. Jody, coming out of high school, what brought you to Valdosta State, a program that hadn't put a team on the court in 15 years?
I made my way to Valdosta State by being introduced to Paul my junior year of high school. He was my junior's club coach, and when he got the job down here, he recruited me down.
Well, Kristen, we're through week 4, and Coach Cantrell still hasn't named either one of y'all the starting setter. How do you feel about rotating in and out of that position?
Well, I think Jody and I are both very supportive of each other, and both being seniors, this is really the last shot we have, but we're both, like I said, we're supportive of each other, and we're always behind each other, and I don't feel any rivalry between us at all. Personally, setting's where my heart is, but I'll take any position that I can on our team.
Well, last season, Valdosta State made it the conference tournament for the first time ever. Jody, do you think you have the team to make it back there this year?
Most definitely. We have probably a better fundamental team this year than we did last year, and I feel that we could probably even go further.
Kristen, last season you were forced to miss most of the year with a severe knee injury. How did you prepare both mentally and physically to come back for your senior year?
Well, physically, I was in the training room every day from the day, even before my surgery. A couple weeks before my surgery, I did prehab, I guess. And then after my surgery, I was in there every day for at least 2 hours a day, and they had me doing plyometric type drills and weightlifting to get my strength back. And then mentally, the stuff that they had me doing in the training room helped me a lot mentally too, because I knew that, you know, I was strong enough to be ready to participate on the team again. So I also had to just be prepared to, you know, it's a step back kind of in a sense, because I was trying to catch up while the rest of the team was increasing their strength from last year. I was trying to catch up to where I left off, and I just have to realize that and be patient and let that strength come back naturally.
Well, thank you both for coming, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, let's take a look at where all the Lady Blazer volleyball action will be taking place until our next show.
More than 140,000 Americans have joined Peace Corps. Returning home, their experiences last a lifetime. Meet Sandra Hood, a substance abuse counselor, and Jean Lee, a community services director.
My Peace Corps experience has been invaluable because part of it is about just getting in there and doing it.
I had my college education, my volunteer experience, and then Peace Corps was just another added star.
Overall, my Peace Corps experience has enriched my life in ways that are very hard to define.
Peace Corps service prepares me for what I'm doing now because it taught me how to think quickly on my feet.
It's pretty much what you make of it. There are many, many opportunities in the Peace Corps.
I strongly encourage everyone to join the Peace Corps.
Peace Corps volunteers, changing America and changing the world. See how you can make a difference. Peace Corps, the toughest job you'll ever love.
There's no ways out! It's impossible!
Actually, Coach, it's not. See, Jimmy had to travel a distance of 90 feet. He reached an average speed of 15 miles.
If academic standards are important to you, call 1-800-38-BE-SMART for a free booklet and be a big league parent.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week. For Coach Paul Cantrell, I'm Jamie Corr, reminding you to join us again when we go inside VSU Volleyball.